Look at those World War II anime boys and girls.
It's beautiful. Such a great concept.
Such a great concept. Anime and World War II, two of the greatest subjects of pop entertainment, brought together under the banner of Sega, who can do no wrong.
What could go wrong besides those, like, Japanese Panzer tank anime things?
Oh, yeah. Where the girls or the tanks or the battleships?
Yeah.
Any of them. Anyway, hey, look, it's Valkyria Chronicles 4 demo. You may have never played any of these. You may have played some of them. You want to play the third one unless you're from Japan.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to play the second one. We'll just put it at that.
You don't like the second one very much, do you?
It's not very good.
Who's here? It's me, Jacob. Hello. And that's Joshua over there.
Hello.
Hi. We're playing a demo for an anime video game about World War II.
Yeah.
We played the first one. The first one was on the PlayStation 3 in like 2008, and then there were 2 sequels on the PSP, and only one of them came out in the States because Sega doesn't like money. And thought that this series was like a... They tried to bring it back with a spin-off action game a couple of years ago that everybody hated and nobody played. I'm sure that, to be fair, I'm sure that number 2 on the PSP probably didn't sell very well because the PSP was already on the outs by the time that was relevant in the States. This looks remarkably similar to the first one in terms of the aesthetics, except where I guess that is to say in terms of the visual style and graphics. The only real change up is the location, where we're in like some kind of Arctic setting now, as opposed to Central European grassy fields and forests.
The lines are better, and the resolution's slightly better, and that's about the only differences I see. It looks about the same, which I'm okay with because the art style for at least the first game, was frickin' amazing.
So the this opening sequence is supposed to have like some kind of vocalized theme song in the Japanese version that apparently they didn't license for the English release. So we just get to listen to the proper, the good stuff. So we have the superior version of the game for once, for a change.
That's also the thing about Valkyria Chronicles, is even though I'm not sure about the fourth game, I know for a fact that the first game, and I think the second one, were composed by Hitoshi Sakamoto.
I'm fairly certain this is also Hitoshi Sakamoto.
And
I will double check.
This being the man behind such soundtracks as Final Fantasy XII.
All right, I checked. It is Hitoshi Sakamoto on this one too. So we're gonna check options really quickly before we jump into this. Apparently, this demo is nice and properly sized. I think it's just the first 2 chapters of the game unedited.
Wow. And just for I guess so we have all of our bases covered. We have both played the first game. I'm the only one who's played the second game, and I am also the only one that beat the first game. Jacob Jacob got most of the way twice and watched it, so he basically finished
And I watched the anime, so I've watched the anime for this, which is, there are parts of that are better than the game and parts of it that are worse than the game.
Yeah.
There's probably some kind of optimized viewing experience of playing certain chapters and watching certain episodes or something.
The day our hometown burned, that was the day we enlisted. At last, we had something to believe in, something worth fighting for.
I wonder if this is added in for the purposes of the demo and skipping some kind of prologue chapter, or they're just trying to jump us right into it.
I wonder, because I kind of expected the first 2 chapters to be the exact same as the last game's first 2 chapters, which are literally just, let's get the tank and get the primary 2 characters together.
And then we'll join the military after that. Yeah. Can't believe they just let them pull up they bring your own tank to war.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, it's a militia, so whatever.
And I guess his tank was like the greatest tank in the world back in World War I. I mean, the first European war.
He just had a secret super tank sitting in his garage.
Yeah, this looks the exact same, which I'm perfectly fine with.
Because have you seen any footage of this game at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
And I know it's already out in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen nothing of it.
Because I've been watching trailers and stuff and keeping up with it, but I didn't think you'd seen anything of it.
I mean, I'll wait for reviews, and if the reviews are even slightly okay, I'll probably get it.
So I've watched most of this demo. I kind of skimmed somebody else's upload of it. I feel like you could probably pre-order this game based on reviews for the first game, because this looks like a more faithful remake than most actual remakes.
Yeah.
You'll see what I'm talking about when we get into actual gameplay.
I wasn't napping. Nothing. Just resting my eyes.
Wait.
Gotta relax, man.
Is that
You're
Quentin
way
Flynn?
too freaking tense. Your
That might
hands
be.
are shaking. So sack up, Commander. It's about time we get ready to roll out.
No.
No, it's not. No. For a couple
Dang it.
lines, it sounded like him, but that's
Yeah,
not him.
It's not him. It's... This town looks remarkably similar to Brule, the town from the first game.
Imperials incoming.
Wind
All right,
whispers.
boys, it's go time.
Boys.
So
okay. Oh, oh.
Watch. So look at this. Look at this tactical genius. He decided to have his entire squad take cover within like a 5-meter perimeter of his super visible tanks. That if anybody shelled their position, they'd all die immediately. Well, thank God that one guy missed.
It is a good visual shot, I will say, for the beginning of a game.
But
so I'm
apparently
willing to give it a
they're
pass.
within range of mortar strikes.
Yeah.
Until they're done shelling the area. We should have time to prepare. Kai, take a group to that southern hill and slow down their left flank.
One of our named characters is a sniper this time.
Yeah,
so that's
which
an
is
automatic improvement.
Automatically better. You could pick the classes for your characters in the second game, and I made the main guy a sniper because I figured for a commander it makes more sense to, you know, be behind directing everything.
I love how the shock trooper guy with the hairband was like, "Keep up or get left behind." What a band of brothers.
I love how it's like the sniper girl doesn't have cat ears, but her helmet has cat ears.
You have to get him in there somehow.
Yeah.
Look, this is a realistic historical fiction game about World War II, so they can't just have cat ears, all right?
The second game,
I'm being sarcastic.
They have stuff like that in the second game, and it's really out of place and terrible.
But people literally have cat ears in the second game?
Not cat ears, but there's some very similar stuff going on.
Okay.
Just say the word, boss. I'm locked, loaded, and in-freaking invincible.
Okay. First, we'll see how they respond to some infantry.
They'll probably respond by shooting at them.
So yeah, you're right. This is probably like chapter 3 and 4.
Who knows? I mean, it could also be a cold. I'm also thinking because, like, you know, this is a sequel. It's a cold open, and clearly they wanted to get us out of this setting and into northern Russia as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that this is like, that this is not what's important. That the inciting incident is still to come.
So they basically explored the entire Gallian globe, and it's like it's a tiny country.
The Gallian globe.
I was joking, saying the country. Because they've been to, like, every single region, and it's all, like, regions from, like, Mario or something.
Oh, right. There's, like, within the same country, you've got Ice World,
Yeah.
Fire World, Grasslands, Boss.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to put the frickin', Ice World.
I think we're behind enemy lines.
Oh,
I think
really?
I think we're within the Imperial whatever land.
Okay.
I got this.
Because we're being
figure out the
invaded from the
controls.
north in this, right? The Germans are from the north, and we're like kind of.
The Germans are German Russians in this game.
Yeah.
They're very German Russian.
We're mixing our details here in this 1935 World War II with the geopolitical landscape of the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
You remember the plot of the first game better than I, but remind me, weren't the real villains like oil-mongering capitalists who try to kidnap royalty or whatever?
They're not
in a secret CIA sting operation.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're the true antagonists, but they're definitely antagonists. It comes out of nowhere. That's really cool. Okay, yeah, this is all the same. I'm really liking this, and it's even more sketchy than the first game.
Look at how the UI. I think it's probably I think you're in a pause screen, so there's an extra sketch filter over it.
No. Look at that bottom right corner.
No, I meant like
sketch.
how the grass looked when you were in that that tutorial screen. But yeah, no. Look at how identical this UI is.
Now die.
This is ridiculous. There's been 10 years between these games, and this feels like I said a more faithful remake than an actual remake.
Yeah, this feels like a sequel from like 2 years after the fact. Oh, you have to press the touchpad. This is already a bad game. Oh, you can also press O. That's great.
Are you gonna?
I'm gonna charge.
I don't know if you have enough meter to get to those other sandbags.
Let's hope so. Da-da-da. I always love that sound effect.
These are the same sound effects.
Yeah,
too.
I know, it's great.
Why? I don't know. It's just It makes me wonder if this is some kind of like secretly like a budget release.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like if they're just like recycling as much stuff as they can.
For anyone who's wondering, because they might think that I'm like super in love with the first game. I don't love the first game by any means. The story is a mess, but I will say that the gameplay might be the best way of doing like a 3D tactical role-playing game. And besides it being grid-based, like something like XCOM, this is the best way it's ever been done, I feel like.
Really getting tripped up over some common foot soldiers? Why don't you ever stop and think?
Oh, shut up! Just hurry and take him out, will ya?
Thought you'd never ask. This won't take long.
She has a straight-up Springfield. Look at that.
Most of the weapons are.
Yeah,
in the
I
first
know,
game,
but that's just a straight-up Springfield.
Moving out. Didn't take much.
On the bright side, this is a
see, is there any
sniper.
cover?
This is a sniper tutorial, so you don't have to worry about the RNG of getting headshots or not. You can actually just point at them and they'll die.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I should probably just stay up here. I thought maybe there'd be some cover, or there'd be like crouch in the tall grass.
You could just take a turn as her again.
Let's see. Yeah, the scouts are way up there.
Moving out.
You've got enough meter. You could probably have across 2 turns gotten her to the same cover that he's behind, or at least to those first sandbags that you skipped.
Yeah, it's fine though, because it's a tutorial and they want me to kill.
All allies have been taken out.
All allies have been taken out.
Every single ally
Every
is
single
dead.
one is gone. So yeah, if you don't know anything about this game, that type of combat chatter over your comms will happen all the time.
Just constant.
Yeah.
It works well enough for the most part.
Yeah.
Occasionally they'll say really goofy things where you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why did you just say that everybody's dead?
Yeah, that was the most. That was more outlandish than anything in the first one. But yeah,
These are just your turns.
yeah.
I'm sure. So this is kind of an XCOM-ish thing where, I mean, honestly, this works pretty much exactly like XCOM, except you guide your units with a stick instead of moving them around on a grid. And instead of just saying shoot at that thing, you do aim manually, even though there's still a massive like dice roll involved in whether or not your bullets hit. So it's basically the same thing, just gussied up with some extra fluff.
Another thing I like about it is that in
Here we go. About time, Claude.
Yeah, I know. Soldiers, forward! Now's our chance to take the offensive.
But yeah, I think one thing I like about this a little more in XCOM is if you want to, or if you're just farming a mission for like your in-game money and XP, you can just like roll one person for like an entire turn. If you want to, you lose movement, so like you can't move quite as much. But if you are super overpowered and you're just trying to farm XP, you can just run through with one guy and it makes everything a lot quicker, which is nice.
Hey, Raz, check this out.
Oh.
Okay, he had specific dialogue referencing one of the other main characters.
That was interesting.
I wonder if there's gonna be
He's not
slightly
close
more
enough.
sophisticated social links in this one.
I hope, because that was the one.
You having this big squad of people who really have nothing. Even like Fire Emblem style, like, you know,
That goes a long way.
relationship scenes is something more than the nothing that the previous game
'Cause
had.
The first game was literally just journal entries.
For reference, there are basically you have a lot of characters who can join your squad, and aside from like 6 who are story characters, all the other ones have, you know, they have distinctive designs and personalities, but all of it comes out just in, you know, their design and their battle grunts, and like you just said, journal entries.
Yeah, but
there's not really interactions.
I think that's the one thing that the second game did better than the first one, was there was at least something for every character. You had a short social link-esque thing with each character. That it did go a long way. The characters in the second game aren't strong. Even the main cast is terrible, in my personal opinion. But it does go a long way. Oh,
Oh, never mind. Your RNG. I thought maybe since this is tutorial.
Yeah, I thought for
maybe
sure
your
I did
RNG
him.
would still be good.
I can
but
get a
guess
scout
not.
up there and kill him from back there. Oh, that's
With that
that's a
much health
painful
left,
voice.
you could kill with a you could kill with a scout from your current position.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I'm not saying, you have
guns.
to. I was just saying that you'd probably could land 1 or 2 shots on them. That's all. Yeah. So again, the reason I was comparing it to XCOM is like you have units that are stationary on the field, and if it's not their active turn, they still have a perimeter in which if they see enemy troops, if they see enemy units moving, they'll fire upon them. So you have to consider where you leave troops because they will get shot at when it's not. Obviously, they'll get shot at by the enemy when it's the enemy's turn, but also they will return fire. So you can kind of create chokeholds of units placed behind corners where if enemy troops try to advance on you, they'll just immediately get mowed down by your people, even if it's not your turn.
I will say I can't recall if this is accurate, but I think there's at least one. Yeah, there's definitely one mission within the first game where you're just defending a point, and it's really fun to just build like the most efficient.
There weren't a lot of missions where you were defending.
There's the one in the tutorial, and then there's one in particular I'm thinking of that's in the forest, like halfway through the game.
There was also a lot of DLC for that game that neither of us ever played.
Yeah. Which,
I watched a lot of it at the time. Well, I watched it kind of later after we finished with it, but we never played any of it. I don't think.
Yeah, I went back and finished this game, like, I don't know, 3 years ago.
That's
probably.
a great. Wow, that really did the job.
Yeah.
Do it just like you did in training. It'll all work out.
Okay. So yeah, all the tanks have this little weak point. So
the big glowing blue radiator on the back.
Yeah.
Which once your guns get decent enough, you can actually do damage to them with that.
Yeah, but even in beginning game, your tank is usually so crappy and barely hits anything that this will make me miss.
Right there.
Oh.
Good job.
Tutorial, maybe.
Maybe. Or you just, I mean, it's RNG. You could have just gotten a lucky dice roll.
Yeah, because usually that, if you go for
That's almost the same streak. It used to be a single circle over the O and then a straight dash across, and now it's an upward dash. Not quite the same. Very slightly different. Yeah. They did make one new art asset.
I will say this game is now is definitely. I'm not saying like much more, but there's definitely a little more swearing in this game. Not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that's a thing. Cause
different localization probably.
Come on, man. You're supposed to be commander of the Ranger.
A commander still has a heart. Same as a foot soldier.
He was saying, "Oh, the flowers."
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes.
Crying over flowers. Even little girls have bigger balls these days.
Maybe. But what matters is that their hearts...
All right, I get it. Power of the heart, blah, blah, blah.
At the end of the game, this guy's gonna die, and he's like, what if I had just looked inward?
We've gotta... This is making me worry.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a character calling him out right away. But it's, I don't know, like, I think it's interesting because I've watched a lot more anime between now and playing the original game, but I feel like my tolerance for a lot of this stuff has actually gone down in the intervening time.
The ending theme is the exact same.
I wonder if I wonder how much of the soundtrack is recycled. I don't know the soundtrack well enough to be able to go, that's a recycled track, that's a recycled track.
That's a recycled track, I'll tell
No,
you
I'm just saying I wonder how much
Okay,
of
yeah, that is the prologue.
Alright, yeah, no, I guess that's really all, that's all we're going to have to. Oh, tutorial on book mode.
Oh, Lord.
This is a menu. You navigate it with the D-pad and press X to use individual.
I know that's hard for you, American gamer, but you gotta do this. It takes inputs.
Wow.
Okay, let's see how bad the characters really are.
Yeah. And now comes the first real test of this game.
First Lieutenant Claude Wallace reporting in.
Good work out there. Glad you're still in one piece.
Oh, they're working for the Federation? I thought that flag was the Federation flag on the tank. Holy crap, is this like straight up just the Federation?
Just about to go over our next operation.
Because that'd be really interesting. Oh.
You're late. I'm sure you know, standard procedure is to report.
I was gonna make a joke about, you know, this guy in the army who apparently has time to do this stuff with his hair, and then his commanding officer showed up looking like that, so I just don't. No, there's no point. There's no point.
Don't get smart with me just because we share rank. I've got seniority.
That's not the way it works.
Well, you don't know how it works in Fantasy Federation land.
You're right. My bad.
Sorry, Lieutenant.
I was made lieutenant before you, so that means I outrank you.
I'm betterer.
Well, let's get started. Minerva, give us a situation report.
Yes, sir. 3 months have passed since we went to war. I won't sugarcoat it. They're steamrolling us. By this point, a third of our territory is under Imperial control. This is officially a crisis.
If it's that bad already, we won't even be able to sustain a war effort.
The main thing that I'm wondering is, like, not that it really matters, because I mean, like, we can watch World War II movies and know who won, but it's like we already know who wins this war, so I wonder what they're gonna do to draw attention out of this.
Actually, to an extent, it's Maximilian, the bad guy from the first game, was only like he was in charge over the invading force of only Gallia.
Okay, that's fair.
Because he was like the prince, and his dad was like overseeing the main
so
operation.
so maybe Gallia's secure and nowhere else.
Yeah, because they made peace right afterwards. They didn't like go. They didn't start going their land, their blood, and go and kill them.
That was what 2 was gonna be about, but they subbed that out for high schoolers.
What if we could do high school and the Civil War
at the same time?
Yeah, it's the Federation.
At the same time.
That's it for Europa. Nobody else could stand against them.
But what about the guys I played as in the first game? Thanks for spelling it out for me.
Well, this is like for people who don't have any context, I guess, unlike us. Though I feel like the easier way to give people context would just be to show a map and have 3 lines of dialogue.
That's how the first game started, and it worked flawlessly.
Here's a map, and here's where the people on the map are.
I mean, that's the one thing, is the Federation never really seemed like terrible people. They just seemed like
they didn't care what happened to Gallia.
Yeah, no, and it was basically, it kind of reminded me of, actions taken in the Middle East, where it's like, oh, we're just gonna take over now because we want your oil. And Gallia's basically just, their whole thing is they have oil. Because that glowing gem right there, it's oil.
Yeah, the stuff underneath the portraits over there. It's fantasy oil, and the nation from the first game had lots of fantasy oil. So the only reason they were getting any help from the EU was because they had lots of fantasy oil.
And then that's why they tried to depose their queen, was because then they could set up a puppet government
to give themselves all the fantasy oil.
Exactly.
They try to kidnap the queen in an armored car, and you shoot the armored car with a machine gun a lot, and the queen gets out of it.
And it's got the fancy oil weak spot.
It has the big glowing weak spot on it, and you get to save the queen in a really weird mission compared to the rest of that game. Because there's no other missions that are in like big cities like that.
So where are we going?
Our target is the Imperial capital of Schwarzgrad. Let's fight back!
We're just having this conversation in a random...
That's just straight up St. Petersburg.
1935 EC. 2 great powers vied to control.
Okay, there we go.
Here's our map. Okay.
United Kingdom of Edinburgh. Oh god, that wasn't in the first game.
God, you guys have got to stop with this.
I'm looking at cities right now, trying to find more crap.
Loosely allied democracies.
I wonder if that could be the EU.
Both powers depended on a precious mineral, Ragnite, for their prosperity. Its growing scarcity leading inevitably to war.
The United Kingdom of Edinburgh.
This is the cutscene from the first game.
Yes, it is.
Not?
That's straight up the cutscene from the...
While the Federation struggled.
There's Gallia up in the corner with Randgrits.
Randgries. Come on, scrub.
I don't.
Okay, so Cologne. That's just straight up the name of a city in Germany.
I'm familiar.
The Federation places all its hope in a desperate counterattack. Operation Northern Cross. 6 million soldiers fought in this campaign. It claimed more lives than any other in the Second European War. Federation historians call it the Eastern Theater. but the Empire knows it as the War for the Motherland.
Oh man, this is so.
I don't know. This is such a confusing series to me because like
it's mixing.
No. I mean, no. It's not even that. It's like, you know, I get it. Yeah, we're doing a real mishmash of the aesthetics of World War II. Like, and when I say aesthetics, I don't just mean the literal look of it. I mean like the structure of it, the style of it, the locations, the way that it was fought, and what it was like. I get that, but I'm also going, why do they want to do this so bad and also have magical anime girls?
Yeah, that was the problem with the first
Which character in that portrait is going to be a magical anime girl?
It's definitely the blondie.
Probably the blondie, right?
The Sniper's too well defined already as Sniper.
Yeah.
You can't make Sniper also be...
Is she a Darkson? She had black hair, I don't think purple hair, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So it's hard to say. She might be a magical laser beam girl, but she might not be.
I doubt
it. It's impossible to say.
I doubt it. They gotta
sure.
make main love interest be the Valkyria, and it was pretty clear from the opening cutscene that Blondie is main love interest for main stupid character.
We'll see. We'll find out. Operation Northern Cross.
The Battle of Fort Crest.
So this is literally just Operation Barbarossa meets D-Day.
You got a medal.
Already got a medal.
Remember she was mean a second ago, and now she's like, good news. You
yeah,
got
so
a medal.
she's just forgot.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I don't know, Virat was buttoned up. Like she had sensible glasses and her hair was tied back.
That's what I'm
she had
saying.
The cap on.
She was an okay character for what she was.
From a design standpoint, she was anime girl without being like oh yeah, that looks like a military leader.
Yeah.
This woman does not. She looks like she should be the student council president in the second game.
Yeah. Oh god, don't remind
that
me.
Was the audio started up before we kind of faded into the cutscene. That was interesting.
That was kind of.
They
They
did not do that previously because they always needed to load for 6 minutes unless you installed the game.
Battle, town by town, we're pushing back the front with no signs of slowing down. The road to Schwarzgrad is a long one, running at least 1,500.
Did they say what year this was taking place in?
1935.
And that's the year of the original game, right? So this is happening concurrently with the events.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about, like, because Gallia is marked off as that's still like a neutral space. So
well, I mean, it's still neutral to them.
No. But I'm just saying they're talking about pushing back the front and whatnot, and I'm wondering.
Maybe it's afterwards. I honestly didn't see a date.
I'm just saying if they were successfully pushing this front back, there wouldn't be pressure on Gallia. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, Prompto's in this game.
I'm sure we'll get answers about this later.
Hey, Raz, come on! Stop it, really! You're wasting my film!
Wasting? No chance. What you got here is a picture of a future hero.
It is Bakugo. I was gonna make a joke earlier when he was like, keep up or die.
Yeah, maybe.
You're looking at a future hero.
I will say that I do like the role of the guy in the the viewplate of the tank being the camera guy, because that actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Stop the tank.
Huh? Everything okay?
It's just they explode.
They all just explode. New cast.
The wind shifted.
Is he magical?
The wind shifted. They
said that earlier. He said he's reading the. We said that in the first cutscene. I think this guy is magical. I think
he's the Knight of the Wind. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a weird fade out on the music.
That did feel kind of awkward. Whatever.
Oh lord, more of this chick.
No, I think that's a new character. That's another character with glasses and red hair, Joshua. That's not the same lady. You don't have the attuned eye for anime characters that I possess.
I find a new reason to hate anime every day.
A blast that big could wipe out a whole squad. Easy.
What were they aiming for? Nothing?
Yeah. Like they didn't even shoot like in front of them. Like they were like anticipating.
I think it was maybe it was just a test fire on a hill and they happened to be sitting behind the hill.
It's gonna be the pig from the first game.
It's gonna be the pig.
Flash. The pig is the worst. Flash.
Thunder.
Oh.
They literally.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I saw that earlier. I knew you'd freak out. That's explicit.
Lord. Star. Say Texas, damn it.
Now you're doing fantasy references. That was a reference to real life.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Victor is waiting.
Ah, man.
Who? Oh, you mean Minerva.
Uh.
And you are...
Corporal Crystal Ward. From
Why is she wearing a monocle but with a nose
Lord.
bridge?
I didn't even. A lot of monocles actually.
Okay,
back in the
alright.
old days had nose bridges.
Alright, whatever.
I'll give her that.
Is that the technical term for that? I said nose bridge, and I don't know what else to call it.
I have no idea.
It's a little part of the glasses.
Teddy
that goes
Roosevelt
over
had
the-
a nose bridge. I'm pretty sure.
Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Well, we're calling it that
sound
now.
very stupid,
Add it to
probably.
the wiki.
I assume you saw that explosion.
I mean, you saw that it was right next to
That was
us.
us
so yes, we
accidentally
saw
firing upon your position. You can pay that no mind. It wasn't our lieutenant trying to off yours.
Oh, we saw it all right. They must be packing...
A 21-centimeter howitzer. Currently, our worst nightmare.
20.
It must have a range of at least 10
What?
kilometers.
That's like a.
Fans with that thing around.
I think the standard American models were 105s, and the standard Germans were 88s, as in millimeters, not.
Our
not
mission is to capture
centimeters.
that cannon.
Good work.
Is it a stationary gun emplacement?
Your slow pace, however.
Oh my
leaves
gosh.
something to be desired.
Where did you come from, lady?
I hate this
So
woman.
we've been proceeding with caution.
Keep your excuses. As I said before.
Stop trying to save people's lives.
As I've said before, when you see artillery fire, walk straight into it and never stop.
Time is of the essence.
You know, you're not in charge of this, lady. This is like this is
Yeah.
like a grand,
Yeah.
sweeping, incredibly important military action, and you're just talking to some loser in a tent somewhere in the countryside. You have no authority with which to boss me around about the importance of this mission.
Housebroken your squab.
The hell did you say?
I'd appreciate it if you didn't insult my soldiers. They're people, not pets.
I will say that doing this story kind of makes sense because it almost ends the story of the first game.
Yeah.
But through a different perspective, which is kind of cool. Because they can even just make the main emperor be the bad guy and be even more stupid than
I want to find out. I
Maximilian.
want to find out in canon that this woman got like some kind of battlefield promotion, and she's completely unqualified for this position because that's the
Yeah.
only way that I'm going to accept this characterization. But whatever.
Yeah. But no, she's
She's just gonna be there because
she's from Fantasy West Point. It's fine.
she's from Fantasy West Point. Well, then I'd accept that too. She's a rookie. She's like,
a-
I'm self-important
she's the
because I
guy-
graduated
yeah.
from Fantasy West
Yeah,
Point.
she's the guy from.
She's
Band of
Tom
Brothers.
Hanks' son from
And,
that one
yeah.
episode,
As you know, Fort Crest has
who looks remarkably like McGee from NCIS.
Yeah. He really
Might just
does.
look like an old castle turned into a makeshift fort.
That also just looks like a Russian castle, but I'll shut up
They've
now.
stationed quite
We're
a
going
few
into
troops.
Russia. I don't know what you're
Oh.
expecting.
If we get too close, those turrets on the walls will mow us down.
So when does our own cannon get here?
That howitzer already destroyed it. We were outranged.
Wait, was that your job? Was that your job, Lieutenant? Did you fail?
Did you tell them to advance into enemy fire?
It will take at least 7 days.
Commander, we can't. We're out of range from the tank, from the cannon, and we've got to move across this open field for another 3 miles before we're in range. We could go around behind that tree line for cover. No! Forward to victory!
I will say too that I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but the entire idea of charging towards Moscow has never worked in history. Napoleon tried it and got wrecked. Germany tried
it is
wrecked.
weird to frame our narrative around one of the most disastrous military campaigns of all time.
Yeah.
A World War II era attack on the heartland of Russia.
Yeah.
That's too reckless.
We're gonna charge on that fort without artillery. This lady is insane.
It's a dangerous mission, I know. But those are your orders. This isn't your local militia. This is what you signed up for when you joined the Edinburgh Army.
Oh, so Britain's in this now.
Oh, so we're part of. So we're all from England. We're not from around here.
No, I think that she said we're rerouting with the Edinburgh army.
No, I think she said we linked up. Oh, whatever. Who
Yeah, we
cares?
linked up with their army.
We're not paying any attention.
The Empire invaded.
Oh.
Okay, the timeline on this is all screwy.
Invaded?
I knew it was only a matter of time.
What about our hometown? Is Hoffen okay?
Wait, they're from Gallia?
Knows that the battle
But
broke
not?
out at the border at Citadel Ghirlandaio.
I guess they must. They just decided to.
They're probably from a border town. It's fine.
Whatever.
Galia's prospects look grim.
Oh, damn it!
Is there nothing we can do?
Go. You have to go get. You have to stop the entire army.
The Empire won't have the luxury of
That is kind of cool. If this operation is successful, all the forces that are able to get out of Gallia are completely surrounded and will get destroyed.
Yeah. Let's do it for Gallia.
So they're from Gallia.
Yeah, that feels weird.
But they went to school in Germany?
I don't know. Who cares?
Okay, let's
find
go.
out later.
Let's go get our asses kicked.
We will replay / rewatch this, and we'll get the details that we're not paying attention to right now.
I must say, I don't think there were any mounted machine guns in the first game. That's like the only difference I've seen so far.
Well, we're also on the first fight.
So yeah, this is 1935.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of different vehicles and stuff once we get to Iceland. Yeah, this is all identical.
Yeah, that's why I'm. Yeah, if you want to read this freeze frame.
Freeze frame. What else we got? What do we got? What else we got? We got another Darkson, it looks like.
Yeah.
Which is this game's stand-in for we need to have some kind of race to get discriminated against. So we're gonna have a fantasy race with dark hair.
Fox McCloud's younger brother needs to be.
Ooh, yeah, put in Fox McCloud's younger brother.
Oh, he has a terrible. He sounds like. Look, listen.
Let's do it.
He sounds like
never
Fox.
mind. Get Fox McCloud out of there.
It's fine. Jimmy Frank.
We probably don't even need a Lancer on this.
No, it's fine.
Jean Matrix. She replace Fox McCloud. What else we got here? Who are? Let me see all of our engineers.
Okay, the engineers aren't crappy yet. Like in the last, in the first game, all the engineers were universally terrible.
I wanted to say Alucard, but I say that's not his name. Put him in anyway.
Yeah, I like the Rambo bandana he's got going on.
Here we go.
Aladdin? Aladdin is on the team. Well, obviously Kai is going in.
Yeah, sadly, because I want Aladdin in our squad.
We have put it. Do we even need were there any tanks on the field for this? We probably don't even need any Lancers.
I don't want to take any risks.
Well, put at least a scout.
And now we'll put Curtis in.
Let's go.
No Southern accent, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. We're not putting him in.
Why not?
Who you want to go with? Curtis still?
Put in Godwin, I mean.
Okay.
I'll do what I want.
Never mind. I was gonna say looks like. I mean, you can keep him in. He's fine. I was gonna say I was about to say it looks like he's a hardened soldier, but then he was like, I don't take orders, so never mind. He's a loose cannon.
I get it.
But he's a damn good cop.
Oh my gosh. I love how she's just ordering you around, but she's from a different squad. It's not like Verrot where she's your CO.
Who knows? No, she outranks you even though she's a lieutenant.
No, the thing I really liked about Verrot was it was basically like she was a holdover from World War I that never got out of the army, but she was in the militia, and all the army guys look down on her because she has no like actual command experience. She's just like, she's a damn good soldier, you know?
We can't exactly rush in and kick the door down. We'll get routed if we don't have a plan.
This is Chapter 1, Claude. We can do whatever we want.
First, we need a solid foothold. Let's capture that camp.
After that, well, guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Weapons free. Squad E, move out.
The flash thunder thing, like, ended all enthusiasm I have for this, I just realized. Like, at least for a little while. And the dumb commanding officer lady. No, and the dumb commanding officer lady.
I knew she would bother you that much. I only saw like a little bit of her, and I was like, I don't like this lady very much.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and if you didn't like her, I was gonna like her less.
Yeah, I know your tolerance for stupid anime stuff is not very high.
Yeah. I know how camps work. You capture the camps. It's good. It's like Battlefront.
You get to put more troops in at that position.
Yay. Okay, there we go.
Yay, video games.
America. Yep, tank.
Okay, moving out.